teacher's planning area currently occupies one space, and they need to be in adequate spaces. A lot of equipment goes into a teacher's planning area, and you can't have a peaceful lunch with the equipment running and generating heat. They exist over here right now. We're recommending that they be bumped over to the other side and that they protrude into a courtyard area. So it's additional space. The areas they'll be leaving will be changed into bathrooms. Next, over near the gymnasium, you'll see this shaded area. That's a new entranceway that's being recommended. Right now, the parking lot is over here. And we're proposing that we have a separate entranceway so that when this building, which is used a lot, is used in the evenings and at weekends, you can get into the cafeteria and the gym, but we can block off and secure the other areas of the building. Right now, this is an open way. And so what this will do is it'll cover it, it'll enclose it, and it'll give children access to these bathrooms down here from a cupboard. There are some changes that are being made in the kitchen and the cafeteria that pertain to renovations only. There's no structural changes. If we go down the hallway, one of the first changes you see is on this side of the hallway. Where there are currently classrooms, we would like to reconfigure and add the science and the computer room. And then we're going to take this, some 900 square foot area, and we're going to accommodate our Title I speech and remedial reading needs. And they'll have their own little hallway or waiting area. And they can be serviced from this entrance or off on this side. The rest of the hallway stays the same. There will be renovations done to the classrooms, but no need to change the structure. The addition is coming out to the front of the building. You can see it attaches onto an existing hallway. It'll have quite a long hallway because of the handicap access codes for a ramp that will go in there. It comes right out to the front of the Hood School. Those who are familiar with it now, there's a lot of ledge that sits out there. The bus drop-off will stay the bus drop-off, and the teacher parking stays. So that's how close that comes out. And we will need to do work with ledge to sit this in here. What we've decided to put out in this area is the library, art, and music. Right now in the back we have kindergarten classes that we had tried putting out front, but you need to keep your kindergarten classes grouped. So we put the kindergartens back in here so our additional third grade kindergarten can be grouped with the other kindergarten classes. And so you don't, when you have 3 first grade classes, they're grouped, and 3 second grade classes, they stay grouped. So every student will get a chance to promote to the addition for art, music, and the library. In that area, there's sufficient storage and bathrooms and all the amenities that in the building would bring. If we follow the existing hallway down to the back wing, this is where the renovations in this wing will take place. Currently, it's the library and some smaller rooms and a classroom. If we follow the mandates of 1,200 square feet, kindergarten and preschool, we can accommodate that kindergarten and preschool within that block right there. So these are the additional spaces, the ones that you see shaded. And that's the scope of the project that the handout indicates is in the area of $1,200,000. That number is before the 64% reimbursement. So, you know, for the addition alone, even at half the price, that's a wonderful, wonderful deal. The other part of the project, I don't have an overhead for, so we can go along with the handout. We need a new overhead projector, too. The largest part of this project has to do with renovations. It's before the 64% reimbursement and before the committees have reviewed the dollar amount. It comes out to $3,700,000. I just want to let everyone know that this project, as it stands, goes to the state's maximum allowable, which is $4.9 million. This number has not been reviewed by either committee yet. Within this number is $3,700,000 worth of renovations. This building, more than our past building project, has some major issues that the school committee has been putting off, and we will need to address them. And they've been incorporated into this plan so we can receive reimbursement. The largest part is a new roof. It's not just a repair. The entire roof and insulation needs to be addressed in that building. What we are proposing, the school building committee is proposing, is to actually put a sloped roof on the front part of the addition, which is a change from what we've done in the past, but not because we don't support flat roofs, we certainly do. But we have an enormous amount of work when we remove this roof that needs to be done in the area of ventilation, in wiring, in lighting. And we think that we can best address it if we can have that pitched roof up there, because that's where we'll be running most of our wires. We are looking at a price to make sure that it is not drastically more expensive than the flat roof. But at this point, it doesn't seem to be. It seems to be within the town's best interest to investigate the sloped roof on the front portion of this building. Other items that will be addressed is replacement of exterior doors as needed. There is 100% replacement of the floors in that school today. Currently, this floor suffers more stress cracks than the little school project did, and because of the reconfiguration of doorways, and we will disrupt more of those asbestos tiles. So at this point, we're recommending that we replace all the floors so that we have, that continuous look throughout the building. There's a recommendation to address the gym floor, and we haven't settled on which kind of floor, but we're looking at both rubber and wood. We will need new suspended ceilings to replace existing ceilings. We will be looking at the light fixtures and the lighting. That is, through a report we have done, it's not adequate at this time. We will take care of all the electrical stuff so we don't have any more people shocking themselves at the school. That will all be updated according to code. We'll be able to put in more outlets into the classrooms. We're looking at 5 computer stations in each room, so that'll call for the technology drops and the outlets. So that will all need to be increased. We'll add, let's see, doorways will be shifted, sprinklers will be installed, furniture and equipment will be purchased both for the new areas and to replace equipment that's been aged and slotted on our capital rotation plan to be replaced. Let's see, there'll be new boiler system put in that school. It's also been recommended that we replace the existing one and look at some heating issues that they have currently. Let's see. As far as the renovations go, we have a report that was done a year ago by the architect firm TLCR that looked at all of our school buildings. We're incorporating those recommendations into this plan so that we benefit, that when this building is done, we shouldn't have to go back and pay 100% for any project that we've been forewarned of. But basically, it's the heating and ventilation and plumbing and electrical that really need to be addressed, as well as windows and ceiling tiles in the roof. That's it. That's it.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? I'd be happy to answer anything you might have. John?
John, I have a series of questions.
Go right
I
ahead.
don't want to terminate the meeting. The first one would be, this school is on the high point of the town. On the sprinkler protection, I'd like to know if they're going to have booster pumps, because you're putting a big addition on the school. I have a concern. The second concern I have is looking at the new art room. If there's a fire in the room, in the lobby, the children can't get out because there's no outside door. You don't want kids running into a closet. I asked the architect to look at the art room, because the only way out is into the fire.
There are exterior doors in that room.
That doesn't show.
Yeah.
That doesn't show, but there are.
The septic system, I'd like to ask. You said the addition, and I know it's on rock, so do we have to build a larger septic system? We're going to add new classrooms Does the present one, is it capable of taking all of this load? Don't mind me, I know that's a lot of work.
That was, the system that's there was designed over capacity. So right now, the information that we have is as long as the system tests out in working order, it should be fine. But we need to check it out to test.
I like to talk about the stage. I can remember when my daughters were in the lead boats, and we go up there, and now the kids can't fit this stage. And here we are sinking all this money in, and what I see is the same kids are going to be falling off the stage. So we're still going to use that cafeteria as the stage area, because if we're going to sink money in it, we ought to look at expanding the stage. Unless we don't use the stage like I remember them using.
There's currently no
Right, Mr.
plans to
Perry?
expand
That's an
the stage.
observation I made. You know, the mothers can come up there and the kids can't fit on the stage.
Maureen, do you want to address that?
Currently, the cafeteria has a code that the state gives us to follow, and it goes by population. We cannot go into that cafeteria anymore. They need that space for the children. I would think, though, that the administration could, you know, plan to put first graders, remove them, second graders, remove them, and not have all that many kids up there to cause any kind of problem. And that was one of the benefits of the covered hallway that comes in from the cafeteria. We discussed when they're lining them up for presentations, they're not standing outside in the cold now, they have a direct access in.
The warm-up kitchen strikes me as that are we still into the service of cooking the meals centrally and trucking them into the schools?
It's the school committee's plan to continue with a centralized kitchen and to send it out to the Hood and the Little School.
I mean, this area for a warm-up kitchen is bigger than some of the restaurants we've got in town. I mean, that's the way it looks. Just giving it to you, the way it looks on paper.
Maureen?
You'll notice that there's an area that's been added and it's labeled freezer. We're trying to make some good use of a lot of that kitchen space, which, like John says, we don't cook in it right now. There's a freezer that's been recommended to go in here to serve the entire school system in the food service program. And we were looking for the best place to put this freezer, and we found it here within the Hood School because our kitchen has that space. And it's also being used for needed storage, a lot of that empty space.
Now, the across from the boiler room is right near, I would say, the intake for the cafeteria, if I know my air conditioning principles. So I don't want kids suffocating eating lunch, so I'm not going to say
Guaranteed that
suffocate.
won't happen, but Mrs. Fox.
Guaranteed, Joan. We have it right here. Provide mechanical ventilation for the kitchen, provide exhaust systems for the kitchen, and to provide 2 new boilers with mechanical ventilation.
I'll let somebody else, I've got several more.
That's all right. Is there any other questions? Tina?
I asked this question, and I just don't see it on here. The back doors, they have stairs, and I had asked the question whether one of those was going to be ramps, and I was told that it doesn't show it on here.
Coming out of the gym?
No, I'm talking about down at the lower level.
Down at the lower level, go down to the lower level, go all the way down the corridor by classroom 1 and 5.
Yes.
That will be ramped out.
Yes. And down the other end.
Down the end will be ramped out.
Okay. My other question is then, right now you can drive around the school and come back out. Is this addition in the front going to take that away, or are you still going to be able to drive by?
You can't drive around the entire, I mean, you.
The turnaround.
Yes, please do.
The police do.
Yeah.
This does not.
It won't block the access.
Well, is that road going to stay as it is, or will the
The
expand?
paved road only goes behind the lower level. It doesn't continue up around the entire building. The paving exists behind the lower level, but doesn't come up around the entire.
It comes down around the front of the school. If you go to the bus, turn around the loop, there is at least a wide pathway where the vehicle can go on.
Right. Victor?
The way it's configured right now, currently at the existing Hood School, where that path that you're talking about, very familiar with the Hood School,
Right.
the addition